Well, good morning. It is January 24th, and that means they're on day 24 of our 100-day. I am going to get this right probably by the end of it. Our 100 videos challenge. Wow. Okay. Well, we know how my morning's starting off for the Feral Friday that it is. Yesterday morning, I touched on the subject of the sunk cost fallacy, and that is basically, in short terms, it's you've put so much work into something you don't want to quit. I actually pulled up the actual definition of it, which I will read off for you today. This comes from an article from the website Very Well Mind, written by Wendy Rose Gould, and this is almost exactly a year old. And honestly, the facts haven't changed. So, the sunk cost fallacy is a cognitive bias that makes you feel as if you should continue pouring money, time, and effort into a situation that you've already, quote unquote, sunk so much time into, all this into already. Perceived sunk cost makes it difficult to walk away from the situation since you don't want to see your resources wasted. And that's the long version of I've spent so much time on this already. I really don't want to, lose out or quit. But the main thing you got to look at when you take a look at things you've put time and money into is what are you getting back from it? Have you, what's the word? What am I going to for here? Uh, are you getting back positive gains? It's kind of, think of it as investing in a stock. You invest money, you lose money. You gain money, you lose money again. You gain money, you put more money into it to seeing if you can get up your gains. Eventually, you gotta have to take a cost differential look at it and saying, well, okay, well, is the money that's in there right now just the money I put in there? Am I actually gaining anything by putting in this stock, or am I just, coasting along, hoping it's gonna happen? Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I think that happens with people a lot. This can be hobbies, this could be investments, this could be careers, this could be investments in people. And that can go anywhere from friendship, social group, relationship, anything. It's one of those, a lot of people fall into it really fast. And I think that's where everybody kind of gets to be, they have to be really miserable before they quit it. And then they're like, well, that was a lot of time, money, and energy wasted. And I think the idea is knowing when to walk away. And I think what we should be doing is taking a look at the basically, yeah, kind of like these quarterly quests that I'm doing. It's basically at the end of it, I need to take a look back at that last quarter and say, okay, what did I do? What didn't I do? What did I put a lot of money and time into that hasn't paid off? Now, when you're starting a new hobby, for example, uh, you're not automatically going to be good at it. You've invested time, practice, materials for money, all this kind of stuff. And uh, in some cases, you get better. If you practice something enough times, that the idea is you get better at it. And there are just some things that you will not be able to do, but you've now put a lot of money into it, so now you continue doing it. Well, that's where the fallacy comes in. You're like, well, I've already put this much money into it. Eventually, it's going to pay off. And in lower cases, that's probably true. But in some cases, not so much. So, um, they actually give some other examples on this article of things that, how these fallacies show up in our lives. Finishing a book or a movie you dislike because you've already started it. How many people have picked up a book and said, "This is awful," but I know that I've started, I got to keep reading it. Yeah. Movies are like that. And I used to force my way through a lot of movies. And now, if I don't like it in like about the first 10, 15 minutes, I'm like, okay, this is not going to be a constructive use of my time. So in that case, I walk away from it. Um, Gambling gets on here, but that's always trying to make up for lost bets. That's always a common one. Um, hmm. Yeah. Oh, careers. There's one. Remaining at a job or on a career track that's no longer serving your time or your future. You know, staying at a job, you know, you have to look at what it's benefiting you. Me, I mean, I'm not looking at a career right now. I just want money so I can survive, and I'm pretty much able to put up with a lot of different things just to get there. Now, I like my job. My job is fairly easy. Pays me fairly well. I wish it paid me better, but who doesn't? So I'm not willing to walk away from it. I've had jobs though where the stress that was involved in keeping it was worse than what I was getting out of it. And that I just definitely walked away from. But I had to be totally miserable, upset, and have really affecting my home and family life before that happened. So, yeah. And the reason I bring this up today, besides the fact that I touched on it yesterday in a short form, is that I've had something that I've been doing for many years, getting close to a few decades in actually. And as of the last couple years, I haven't been getting out of it what I've been putting into it. Maybe I could be putting more into it. That's sure. That's sure. That's a thing. But it's not treating me well. I don't feel like I'm being treated well. And part of that's on me. Part of that's on others. But it's just time to walk away from it. And it's painful to walk away from it because, once again, I've put in so much time, so much effort, so much money, all that which I can't get back. And I got to walk away from it. So, yeah. So, now, so now that we're off of that wonderful sadness, I'm not going to go into details about it. It's not worth it. But what we're looking at now is, well, let's go to a little happier thing here. It's Friday. It's the end of the week. We should be happy for that. We get to go do things this weekend. Hopefully, it's cold out there. It's -7 right now here in Wisconsin. Um, so I'm gonna see what I can do for my weekend. Bring myself up. Of course, we got championship football going on in precursor for the Super Bowl coming up. Go not Chiefs! I know I'm just gonna. My viewership just went down right there. But in any case, I'm gonna leave you with make sure you're getting some plenty of water in, get some activity in, some fresh air. I know it's cold, but try anyways, and do your best to be kind to people, animals, the environment, and especially yourself. All right. Cheers.